Coming to you from Hope Family Fellowship, a place of hope in Northeast Texas. It's time for Hope Kids! Starring Pastor Rusty, Miss Sasha, Miss Chastity, Miss Chesley, and Major Lee Skeptical. Also starring Josh, Teriyaki, and Disco Dave. Buckle in your seats, kids, because it's time for our next lesson in our series. I know it sounds crazy, but it's true.
Hey, Hope Kids, welcome back. I know it sounds crazy, but it's true, and I can't wait for us to learn today's story. Have you ever been told to do something by your parents or teacher or somebody else in authority? Maybe it was something you just really did not want to do. Well, what do you think would happen if you decided to disobey them and not do it? Of course, you would definitely get in big trouble if you chose not to obey. But what do you think would happen if you did obey them? Would good things or bad things happen to you? That's right, good things would happen because your parents and other authority figures like to bless you when you obey. We're going to find out more about that in a bit, but first, I want you to hear from Josh to help us understand what our lesson today is all about.
Hello, everybody! Once again, it's me, Josh, taking you on a wild and wacky journey through some of the strangest stories of the Bible. I know it sounds crazy, but it's true. Now, I hope you guys have learned something in this series. I've learned you all get on my nerves.
I learned how to tie my shoes.
You don't wear shoes.
Oh.
That would explain the smell.
Smells like grandma. Guys, no. I hope you've learned that sometimes God just doesn't make sense. To us, at least. I mean, he's all-powerful, all-knowing, and the creator of the universe. And sometimes his methods of fixing things can seem, well, kind of weird. Just like in today's lesson. Today we're learning about a proud warrior.
Yes, battle!
Whose name was Naaman. That's what my horse says. Your horse says what? Nay, man. Can I have the talking horse? No, man. Oh, I'm going to get that horse. Well, Naaman had a disease called leprosy.
He can turn into a leopard.
Not exactly. Leprosy was really serious. It's a disease that attacks your nerves and your skin, and it makes parts of your body rot, die, and fall off. I'm going to be sick. Well, Naaman heard about a guy named Elisha. You may have heard about him too. He was a powerful man of God. That's right. And if there was anybody that could fix Naaman, it was him. But things didn't exactly go the way Naaman thought they should. And sometimes, life is like that. You expect one thing, God does something else. So what do you think happens next? Does Naaman stay sick? Does Elisha help him? What are they gonna do? Find out in today's lesson. Will I get the talking horse? I said no, man. You stay away from Daisy. It's a story of how we need to trust and obey God even when it doesn't make sense. This show doesn't make sense. Professor, you know what time it is. Here, boys and girls. What are you doing? Reach out with your hands and press the button on the count of 3. Don't listen to him. Ready? No. 1. Put your hands down. 2. Stop it. 3. Please.
The story of Naaman is one that demonstrates the importance of being obedient. We have to realize that God has called us to trust and obey Him no matter how difficult it may seem. So today you're going to learn about this crazy instructions God gave Naaman in order to be healed of a horrible disease. I don't want to spoil the story for you, but be sure you pay close attention. You're going to learn more about it in today's Bible story. But right now, we're going to check in with our friend, Disco Dave, and he's going to teach you what you got to know. Ha, 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 ha. What you got to know? What you got to know? Ha, 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 ha. What you got to know?
What's happening, you crazy cats? It's me, Disco Dave, and I'm here to tell you what you gotta know. Today, we're talking about how we have to trust and obey God. So today, every time you hear somebody ask you what you gotta know, you tell them, I will trust in the Lord no matter what. Sometimes, God tells us to do things that are not easy. Not easy. But we have to trust and obey God even when it's hard. Whatever He says, we gotta do it. So today, every time you hear somebody ask you what you gotta know, you tell them, I will trust in the Lord no matter what. And that right there is what you gotta know. I'm Disco Dave saying, Dynamite!
All right, kids, stand to your feet. Let's say the what you gotta know together and do these motions. Ready? I will trust the Lord no matter what. I will trust the Lord no matter what. So every time you hear this sound,
What you gotta know.
stand up and say, I will trust the Lord no matter what.
Left. Hello, civilian. How are you doing today?
Hello, Majorly Skeptical. I'm doing fine. How are you today?
Well, I'm glad to hear that, civilian. How are you? I got an inquiry for you today, civilian.
I'm glad that you're doing well too. Could you perhaps ask your question at a normal distance and a normal volume? My ears are not adapted to your military volume level.
No problem, civilian. I was just wondering what you and your lesson is about today.
Oh, well, that's an easy answer. We are learning that we should trust and obey God no matter what.
That sounds crazy. I doubt the Bible says all that no matter what. I think you've taken it a bit far this time, civilian.
No, really. The Bible shows us this over and over. We should trust God no matter what and always obey God no matter what.
Let me put it this way. I think the bacon is slid outside the backside of your bacon cheeseburger. I think you're a little loony.
Let me put it to you this way. Do you have to obey your supervisors in the military?
You bet you! Your weak civilian shoes I do. My superiors know all the sensitive info about the situation and the best action to take that we should on best said situations.
So shouldn't everyone trust and obey God, who knows everything and loves everyone no matter what?
Yeah, may have a point there, civilian.
Well, you know that you can listen to today's lesson and check out what God's Word says to help with your skepticism, Major Lee.
Well, you think, civilian? You may have a point.
So you got any special secret operations going on right now, Major?
Sure do. My unit and I are keeping a close eye on a possible spy.
Whoa, you don't think I'm a spy, do you?
Well, we have been told there's a spy wearing black shorts and a blue shirt. And we were told that if we see said spy, to apprehend them and take them to the interrogation room. Immediately!
Listen, I don't know what's going on here, but I am no spy. Please don't put me under a lie and ask me questions. I don't know anything about spying.
Gotcha, didn't I, civilian? That's what you get for asking me if I have a special ops mission.
Yes, sir. I won't ask that again, for sure.
Glad that we can see, we understand one another, civilian. Now I really do have to go watch some spies. So let's get on with today's lesson. Good day, civilian. Left, left, right, left.
Out of sight! What you gotta know.
I will trust the Lord no matter what.
2 Kings chapter 5 has an incredible story about a guy named Naaman. Naaman was commander in the army. He was very well respected by all. However, Naaman was not a follower of God. He commanded the army of Israel's enemy, Aram. Naaman had a terrible disease called leprosy. Leprosy was a painful disease that caused the skin on his body to rot. It was quite gross. As you can imagine, this made Naaman very sad. Naaman had a young servant girl that was from the nation of Israel. We don't know her name, but we know about something incredible that she did. She spoke up one day and said, "I wish my master would go to see the prophet Elisha. He would heal him of his leprosy." When Naaman heard about this, he set out to go find the prophet Elisha. Naaman took bags of gold with him. He hoped he could pay Elijah enough money to make him heal him. When Naaman arrived at Elisha's home, Elisha didn't even come out to meet him. Instead, Elisha sent his servant out to deliver his message to Naaman. The servant said, "Go wash yourself 7 times in the Jordan River. Then you will be healed." This man, Naaman, was very angry. He screamed, "Will you not even come out to meet me? I will not wash in the river." But his officers talked to him into trusting God and obeying what he was told to do. Naaman went down and dipped himself in the Jordan River. Once, no change. Twice, no change. 3, 4, 5, 6 times dipped into the river, but he still had the leprosy. But how many times did Elisha tell him to dip in the river? That's right, 7 times. Naaman went under for the 7th and final time. When he came up out of the river, he was washed completely and was healed of leprosy. Now think about this for a second. What if Naaman hadn't been willing to trust and obey God? What if he had said dipping into a river 7 times doesn't make sense and walked away? Naaman would probably have died from leprosy if he hadn't been willing to trust and obey. You see, when you trust and obey God, even when it doesn't make sense, amazing miracles can happen. This is exactly what you are going to learn about in today's lesson.
Out of sight! What you gotta know.
I will trust the Lord no matter what.
Cause I like to cook tacos like soup. Oh, hey boys and girls, it's me, Teriyaki. And I was just getting ready to cook up something tasty for my restaurant, Nice Rice. As you know, I'm kind of famous for getting things scrambled. Well, today's power verse is extra scrambled, and I need your help. Let's take a look at it. Trust in the heart with all your Lord. Do not depend on 3-5 your own understanding. Proverbs. Yes, this is wrong. Very mixed up. Kind of like the time that lady asked me for licorice and I thought she wanted me to lick the rice before I served it to her. Oh, that was a big lawsuit. Anyway, I need your help getting this power verse unscrambled. Let's take a look at it. Trust in the heart with all your Lord. That's backwards. What do you think it's supposed to say? Yep. Let's swap heart and Lord. Perfect. Do not depend on 3-5 your own understanding. Wait, something doesn't belong here. What do you think it is? I think you're right. 3-5 goes at the end of the scripture reference. So it's found in Proverbs 3:5. Yes, that's it. I think we have it. Let's try saying it all together on the count of 3. So stand up and say it with me. 1, 2, 3. Trust in the Lord with all your heart. Do not depend on your own understanding. Proverbs 3:5. That's a great power verse. Let's make sure we can remember it so next time we don't get it mixed up in our brains. Stand up again and let's say it on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Trust in the Lord with all your heart. Do not depend on your own understanding. Proverbs 3:5. Great job, boys and girls. Now, I've got to get back to making this pizza in a big bowl. Pizza. Anyway, the customers are waiting, so until next time, this is Teriyaki saying pizza in a bowl is pizza for your soul.
Hey, thanks, Teriyaki, for today's power verse. All right, kids, it's time to worship God. Parents, you join in too. Let's all stand to our feet and let's worship the Lord together.
So I need you to stand up, stand up, stand up. And as this music starts, I need y'all to sing loud and shout to God, okay? So clap your hands.
All I know is by myself, I can't do it on my own. So glad, I'm so glad that I found you in my way every day. Show me the truth. I'm so, seeing things I've never seen. I'm so, knowing that how much you love me. Supersonic power. So strong, show me his love. Now that I know, supersonic power, my God is so strong. Show me his love. Now that I know, I'm seeing things I've never seen. I'm knowing now how much you love me. Seeing things I've never seen. I'm knowing now how much you love me. Seeing things I've never seen. I'm knowing now how much you love me.
Woo, good job. Everybody make some noise. Did you guys like that new song?
Out of sight! What you gotta know?
I will trust the Lord no matter what.
Welcome, kids. Today in our Bible story, Elisha gave Naaman some news that seemed a little crazy to Naaman. He didn't want to do what he was told. He had come a long way to be healed, and he wasn't about to be told to go wash in a river in order to be healed. That just didn't make any sense to him. Have you ever been told to do something that didn't make sense? Maybe it was by your teachers, or maybe it was by your parents. It could have been anyone. They told you to do something, and it just didn't make any sense to you. Why should you ever do that? Well, now for an even bigger question. Has God ever told you to do something that just didn't make any sense to you? Maybe God told you to give your birthday money in the offering for a missionary. And you thought, what? That doesn't make any sense. God, I've waited for months to get this birthday money so I could buy the toy that I've wanted. And now you want me to give it in the offering? That just doesn't make any sense to me. Well, maybe God told you to go over to the new student at school and introduce yourself to them. You think, God, I can't do that. They'll think I'm crazy. It just doesn't make any sense. But you know that God is telling you to do it. Well, here's the truth. Sometimes God's instructions are hard to understand. Sometimes they just don't make sense. Did it make sense for Naaman to have to dip into a river 7 times to be healed? No. Did it make sense for a young boy named David to go up against a 9-foot giant with only a slingshot? Not at all. Did it make sense for Joshua and the Israelites to walk around the walls of Jericho 7 times in order to make the walls fall down? Of course not. But sometimes God's instructions are a bit hard to understand, and they don't make sense to us. Have you ever looked at a set of blueprints that a builder uses to build a house? To the average person, they just look like jumbled up mess. They're full of numbers and shapes that can seem very confusing, but not to a builder. You see, to a builder, these plans make perfect sense. You might wonder, what is this supposed to mean? But a builder looks at the plans and understands exactly what needs to be done. We have to remember that God knows much more than we do. He's much more powerful than we are. Sometimes God has reasons for telling us to do those things that are a little out there. Often He wants to see if we will trust Him, even when it doesn't make sense. He wants to see if we will obey Him when we can't figure out the reason He's telling us to do what He's telling us to do. When God doesn't make sense, remind yourself that God is in control. God's in control of everything in this world. He knows what's going to happen today. He knows what's going to happen tomorrow and even thousands of years in the future. He spoke a word and the world came into existence. He's the one who's raised the dead, He's healed the sick, and even parted the sea. He's in control, so you can trust Him. If He tells you to do something that doesn't make sense, you can trust that there's a good reason. It's kind of like a remote control car. Even though it's heading straight for the wall, it doesn't have to freak out and wonder, why is this happening to me? Why am I driving toward the wall? I'm going to crash. No, it doesn't have to worry about that because it's not in control. You are, or I am. It's the same way with God. And God doesn't try to figure out the why behind His instructions. He doesn't ask us to try to make sense of it all. Instead, He simply asks us to trust and obey. And it's that simple. And why wouldn't you trust and obey someone who knows everything and created everything and is more powerful than everything? Best of all, there's one thing that you can be guaranteed. If I obey, I will be blessed. Blessing follows obedience. What happened when Naaman obeyed God and dipped into the Jordan River 7 times? He was blessed with a healing. God wants to bless His children. But in order to receive God's blessings, you have to trust and obey. God can't bless someone who is disobedient. So when God tells you to do something, even something that doesn't make sense, trust and obey. Let's pray. Lord, You are in control. And I pray that You would help us to remember that and trust You. Help us to be obedient. When we're obedient, we're blessed, and we thank You for that. In Jesus' name, amen.
Out of sight! What you gotta know?
I will trust the Lord no matter what.
We are so glad that you joined us for Hope Kids tonight. It was awesome to have you watching along with us. If your family needs prayer, have your parents email us at prayer@hopefamily.tv, or they can text the word pray to 903-300-1994. We're so glad that you watched along with us tonight, and we can't wait to see you here next week. Make sure to join us next Sunday night, and we'll see you then.